Yes, yes, yes. Friday morning, y'all. Where y'all goals at? Have y'all gotten closer to the acquisition of your goals? I have, even though I've been failing at the same time. One of my goals was to write more. I've been doing that. It's been feeling really good. One of the things that I've noticed that I have to do when it comes to writing, if I'm going to, because what I'm more concerned about is the consistency and the habit, then I'm not going to say I care about that more than the content. The content still means something to me and it's fun and I think it's good to me. But see, that's one of the things I was thinking about. All right, this is about to be a fucking writing podcast. Just this episode. My taste. What's obstructed my writing in the past, or my initiative, or my interest in writing in the past, it was considering what other people like and trying to adapt to that just a little bit, not wholly. It was like if it's a pie chart with percentages, a big chunk of it was just me, what I liked, but a lot of it was like, will people like it, and trying to please everyone. But eventually, now I realize that for me, especially for me to be consistent and for me to have a love for it and an enthusiasm towards it, I can't care about that. And also, though, one of the things that enables me to not care as to whether or not it's suitable or attractive to most people, I have to. I was skeptical about this, and I was analyzing this. I didn't know whether or not I was just saying this to myself to justify what I'm saying at this moment, or whether or not I really meant it. But I know I really meant it because I try to be as honest with myself as possible, and even I fail at that. I don't doubt that I have blind spots, and I want to make sure that I see myself clearly and see what I'm doing clearly. But what I'm saying is that my tastes is not everyone else's taste. The majority of the people that that are on my friends and on Facebook, the majority of people, not all, the majority of people that are on my Instagram or that I know in person, do not like the things that I like, the movies that I like, the music that I like, the stuff that I like. Even people that I think are really great, they don't. And I'm not saying that if your tastes aren't matching, if they don't align with my taste, then that I'm not saying that this is some kind of competitive thing that I think that my taste is superior. It's not even about better or worse. It's just different. Like, I don't like most of the commercial shit that's out there. I am insulted by the majority of these fucking movies, by the majority of this contemporary music, and it's really not because I'm some kind of old head or anything. I thought I was telling this young dude the other day. I was like, bruh, it annoys me that Drake is better than all these other fucking rappers on the radio. Like, when I hear in Houston radio, when I hear these mumble rap, I don't want to use that term, but a lot of it is. But just the demo, like it's the effortless, and not in a good way kind of effortless. The oversimplifying, the fucking musical absence of these rap songs, the musicality versus what I heard in the past. I don't think, listen, man, I'm not even talking about the content. I'm not even talking about the glorification of violence. I'm not even talking about the objectification of women. I'm not even talking about the romanticization and the worship of money, which all these songs have, and even Drake has. And I can't stress this enough. I don't give a shit about Drake. I never bought a Drake album. I'm not mad at the dude, nor do I love the dude. I am neutral towards him. But it annoys me that, like, do y'all not hear do y'all not see how famous this motherfucker is and how much money he has? And not only that, but his music is better than all of y'all's. And it's not better just because it's Drake's voice with it. There's a musicality to it. It's good. I will not take that away from Drake. Like, mad for what? You gotta be nice for what? Nice for what? I'm trying to remember what the name of that song. Nice for what is such a dope song. Such a dope song. And I don't hear anything like that with a melody that's distinct, with musicality and this. What the fuck? But okay, going that rant aside, moving forward, my point is this. my tastes are not everybody else's taste. People like these fucking movies and everything else. So what I'm saying is that I can't I can't please y'all. Or I can't please them, not y'all. Ye who listen to me, I'm sure we're on the same page to some degree. I got so excited, dude. At work the other day, I was genuinely excited when this other gentleman had seen the movie Shame, starring Michael Fassbender, directed by Steve McQueen. Steve McQueen is the black director who did 12 Years a Slave. Which, by the way, again, 12 Years a Slave is just such an amazing movie. And even if I wasn't black, it's not even about, oh, it speaks to my African DNA. Yo, that movie is just it is just a good ass, it is beautiful. It is, you know how Shawshank Redemption is just undeniably good? And it's just good because it's just fucking good. And everyone's like, that movie is one of the best movies. It just is. Like, it's not even about like you have to be a fan of Morgan Freeman. You have to be a fan of prison movies. That movie is just a really good fucking movie. 12 Years a Slave is like that to me. 12 Years a Slave is in the same lane as Shawshank Redemption. I feel like the cinematography, the acting, the music, the pace, the content, everything is just, and it's simple. You know what's wild? It is, in a way, a prison movie. Except that he's a prisoner of slavery as opposed to a prisoner of an actual literal prison. But it's still prison. And that's the interesting part. I guess, wow, man, I never even noticed that parallel. I suppose that movies about those unjustifiably in shackles and imprisonated and somehow kept from freedom, and then one of Jonathan Franzen's books is called Freedom. Freedom is, I guess, a very interesting thing to our nature, and the prevention of freedom, I suppose, is very interesting. But that movie is just fucking good. But I got excited about, this dude knew the movie Shame. And I was like, God, I'm passionate about movies, dude. I love, like, I can't, I love film. I love art. I love creativity. I love originality. Not even just purely originality for originality's sake. I love artistic creation. I do, and it just hit me. I could tell how dehydrated I was in that regard. That aspect of myself that wasn't being, because when he saw the movie Shame, and this dude actually he was talking about the incestual element to it with Michael Fassbender's character and his sister and stuff. And I could tell that he actually processed the movie. I was so fucking excited because I was like, and then I was thinking about it later. I was like, man, I really love this shit. But my point is that I think I have good taste. And I don't think other people do, and that is one of the things that I'll say. I am resentful towards everybody's sapping up of all this bullshit that they like, and all these shows that are just clearly drawn out for the sake of elongating the series. It's just, we watch shit just to watch shit, but it's not about being critical of it to be pretentious. It's not about challenging it because it feels good to put down other people's creations. But I just feel like there's no standards, man. And I feel like the movies and the shows and the certain creations that deserve attention, they don't get it. Why don't I hear people talk about 12 Years a Slave being an amazing movie? It's because a lot of times people take it in this personal way and they can't get jiggy with it. Or somebody looks at like, oh, another slave movie. Like, fuck y'all, man. It's a good ass movie. You're ruining creations. You're ruining beauty. Even if it's morbid beauty. And how come I don't know anybody else? It's so rare for me to meet a motherfucker who's seen the movie Shame. And it's about sex addiction, by the way. It's such a powerful film. It's so fucking powerful. And anyway, it's my rant. It's my fucking rant. Yo, I hit the ground running just now. But my tastes aren't other people's tastes. And I can't be tripping if people don't get it or people don't like it. because the stuff that people like, I just don't. When somebody talks about a song, or if I'm like, I don't. How do you like that shit? And it's not even about the commerciality of it, if commerciality is even a fucking word. But Joker, what a super commercial. Everyone says they like that movie. And guess what? I do too. That movie was fucking great. And I'm so excited that people, when I see people appreciating like quality acting like Joaquin Phoenix is, and quality cinematography in movies, and yes, Homeboy was biting off of Taxi, and Taxi Driver, and all these other films that Robert De Niro was in, and other Scorsese stuff. Whatever, it was great. Tarantino does too, and my man who directed La La Land does too. Like whatever, they all bite. They all be biting. And so look. They give credit if you ask them. I don't doubt. Anyway, all right. What else? What else? I was talking about goal acquisition. So I've been writing more, and that makes me very, very happy and very fulfilled. And I want to fall in love. Oh yeah, you know what the other thing is about the writing, and that's why I was saying that it's gonna be a fucking writing episode, because there's so many aspects to it, angles. I used to also, when I was trying to write my book, or write a book, my book, yeah, I'm being self-deprecating. When I was trying to write my book, yeah, it was a book that I was trying to write a couple of years ago, and I was really, really trying to put everything into it. The reason why I couldn't finish it is because I was way too obsessed, weirdly enough. Maybe that works for other people, and by the way, I am very, very admiring of writers who fucking have outlines and all that. No, I can't do that. I've never been an outline person. That is not that's not the fuel for me to write. It doesn't work out like that. I can't. Creativity does not spill from me knowing what's going to happen. Now, I don't doubt at all that you should know how it ends. I don't doubt that that's really, really helpful. That makes all the sense in the world. But having like an outline, knowing that this happens and that happens, I'm already bored. And it's funny because apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, and I don't even know how I fucking read this. I think it was just some random comment section for Neil Gaiman, the dude who wrote was it American Gods, and he's a fucking famous author. And I read some of American Gods. It's cool, good stuff, and they have a show on it. But apparently his writing style is, they have a name. I love how they have a name for all these things. Like, if you watch me and doing my little moving all over the place dancing, apparently there's a name for that that people do. Neil Gaiman, apparently, I don't know if it's true, he apparently writes the way that I'm talking about, like on the in the moment, not knowing where it's gonna go. I don't know if that's true, but there's a word for it now. There's a word. It's called something to be that kind of a writer. I'm just like, oh, there's a word for every fucking thing. I ain't gotta label everything and make it seem as though it's so profound. I mean, whatever. I'm sorry, I sound bitter or something, but listen. But I do hate labeling everything, but I suppose it's not that bad. But then I feel like, I guess it's not a problem. Moving on. Apparently he does that as well. And I was like, oh, okay, there's a word for it. And I thought most writers wrote like that. But I think, to be honest, I feel like you are literarily superior, those who are able to do outline and still, like, you have way more fucking, I feel like you're a stronger writer in a sense. It doesn't mean you're a better writer, but you have a strong mind. I feel a stronger mind, a more stable center if you can do that. Because it's too boring, and I'm not interested in disciplining myself to that degree, because for me it sucks the life out of the process to know where it's going. But I was so obsessed about the story that I was doing. I was so fucking obsessed, and it ruined it. And so that's something I'm learning now. Like I would like from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And I find for me, what helps me write more is if I write it and I put all my energy into it at whatever particular moment of the day, usually at the beginning of the day, and then I do not give it any more energy at all. It's done. I move on. I invest my mental energy into other things. I start doing other stuff. That helps me be more consistent with it. And again, what I'm saying is that what my interest is in is not even, I want good stories and stories that interest me. If it's not fun to me or interesting to me, I'm not going to display it. But it also helps too, me displaying it immediately. Because if I didn't post it immediately, then I would be fucking picking at it left and right and just ruining it, sort of. It could make it better, but in all likelihood, it ruins it as well. Like I become obsessed about every little word. I become obsessed about all the little fucking structures of a sentence. And it just crumbles and it gets ridiculous. And so, I would literally read it over and over and over and over and over. It was ridiculous. And so it helps me to pull the trigger, and it's going to help me in the future to just write it, be done, write more, be done, as opposed to write it, then read it over again and read it over again and read it over again. I become way too obsessive in an unhealthy way. That obsession can be beneficial if you apply it appropriately. But my interest is to be consistent. I really want to be consistent because it's such a fulfilling activity. It is. People, there was a time some years ago when I was willing to I had some money in my pocket and I was willing to just like be a drifter and write. And I think the reason why a lot of people doubted my enthusiasm towards that, or rather they doubted that I would be fulfilled doing that, because it was like, oh, you say that, but then you would be, in these precarious circumstances and you would be sad. And I'm like, and I don't speak about this to anybody except for y'all. I was in love with it that much. No, it was my soulmate. I didn't give a fuck. I was in those moments extremely fulfilled and extremely happy. But nobody can get that. Like, there's no point in trying to like sell that to somebody. Like, why do I need to persuade you that I love writing that much, that it means that much to me, that it feels damn near the equivalent, or not even the equivalent. It's just in a different sense. It feels as powerful as the love for a woman, the love for anyone. It's that powerful. To be honest, a part of me doesn't want to express that because I don't want to make people envious. I don't want to make people jealous. I don't want to make people feel as though they're missing something in their life, that they don't have that kind of love. But no, it would satisfy me that fucking much. That's how much it pleases me and fulfills me. Yeah, I would be hungry. Yeah, I would be uncertain. But the thing is that the only thing that the idea was, if I had this, and I didn't do it, and maybe it was for the best. I'm not saying that harm wouldn't have come upon me. I'm not saying that was the smartest idea. But the thing is that if that was me and my only love at times, me just sitting down and in the moments where I had the energy, if I wasn't looking for food, if I was just chilling in a park or in the library or something, those moments with me and my love writing, they would have fed me internally for quite some time. Like I'm not lonely from not being around people when I have loves like that, like love, like writing, like, you know what it is, man? I'm not you. I'm like, when it comes to other people, it's like, like me and a lot of other people are very similar. Me and people I find are always similar, but I'm never anyone else. Like, I'm never all the way like anyone else, nor is anyone else all the way like me. And that's fine. We don't need to be exactly the same. But I am fed at a very deep, profound level from psychological, immaterial things, which is why most of my life has been spent pursuing that internal fulfillment. Because shit doesn't make me happy. It just doesn't. It's not even about like me fucking having some kind of philosophy that I'm just trying to adhere to for the sake of it. Me just sort of trying to like say take a vow of poverty and be like, I don't want material things because of like some religious idea. No, I'm trying to what motherfuckers don't get, and I guess I really just don't have the interest in persuading them. I don't give a fuck about stuff. It just doesn't do it for me. It's so evident and so obvious and so clear that I am fulfilled by all the intangibles. And I believe other people are as well. And I think they try to acquire those intangibles and in through the material. Because the material acts as a bit of a magnet. It gravitizes. They think it will bring people into their orbit, and it does bring people into your orbit. But I would argue that it's the wrong people most of the time. It's the wrong kind of fucking people that you're bringing into your world, and because people who I'm taken aback by beauty just like anybody else. That beautiful people, I get it. Beauty itself, I get it. I love it too. It's dope. It does something to us. We are wired for beauty of all kinds to inspire us, to energize us, to make us want that beauty to be a part of us somehow. But I can't deny, but luckily, fortunately, maybe it's because I really am at a very very literal level, I'm damn near blind. Like I wear prescription lenses. This might not mean anything to people who I wear contacts, prescription contacts, and all my glasses are broken, and so I rarely wear them out. And plus, it just doesn't feel comfortable. Glasses do not feel comfortable on my face, and I've worn prescription contacts since like the 9th grade. But this might not mean anything to people who don't wear prescription lenses. But just to give you an understanding how blind I am. My left eye. So I saw like in this interview, Robert Downey Jr. talking about he's going blind, and like his prescription was like -2 at the most. It was like -2 or something like that. So that means that you can't. -2 means that your vision is lessening. My left eye, the vision in my fucking left eye is -8.5. And the vision in my right eye is -6.5, which means that, like right now, I don't have prescription lenses in my eye. I'm looking at things around here, and everything is just so wonderfully blurry. It is truly blurry. If I were out and about, that's one reason why I wouldn't survive in the wild, in nature. If I was a drifter, I'd be fucked if I lost my glasses. I'm blind without my glasses. I am blind. And I wonder if, because I'm literally some kind of blind, like I'm not literally blind, but I would have to move with the most absolute caution if you put me in any kind of populated area without my lenses. I would be slow. I would not be able to see any detail in anyone's face. I can't see the detail in anything, except I'm super extremely nearsighted. If I put a book close to my face, it's super clear. If I'm writing and I put the words close to my face, it's super clear. But anything that's not 2 inches away from my face, I cannot see. And so my point is that maybe my brain cares more about the feeling of it all, because it's like, motherfucker, you can't see, so fuck external shit. I'm just saying, man. I don't know. I'm just hitting some bro science. I'm not even saying that I give that's super true, but I'm not even saying that's true at all. But I don't know. I am baffled by people's concern for aesthetics only. Like they don't have any depth to them, any emotional intelligence to them, emotional seeking of it. I'm not you. I'm not them. I am so different, and I'm not even saying I'm better or worse. I'm so fucking different. It dawns on me constantly by being around the people that I'm around, talking to anyone. I'm like, God, I'm not like anybody, and it's not even it's to my detriment. And but word up, cool. But like, I think people they think me and them are similar. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not like you at all. And what sucks about that is I recognize that our differences, not so that, again, I'm not playing this game of inferiority, superiority. I'm not doing that. I'm not seeking, I'm not saying, I can't stress that enough because that's why people need to assume that there's a likeness there because they're like, okay, if you have this cool trait about you and we have any similarities, then we must be similar and we're just different in this way. But I don't think you understand how different, how profound those differences are. You don't mind being around fake artificial people, or you don't mind small talk because you get off on the idea of people being around you. I don't give a fuck about the idea of people being around me. I want the actuality of bond. You don't care about the actuality of bond. All you care, what you're concerned about is people having a certain kind of vibe, and vibe is good. I'm not mad at vibe. Vibe is a thing. But no, it needs to be more than that for me to believe that there's something between us. There needs to be actual content, actual exchanging of real fucking thought. And there needs to be what is, you know what I want? A surrender. There needs to be a fucking surrender. Just fucking surrender. Just surrender to the possibility in the moment when we're conversing, when we're talking, when we're getting to know each other. Surrender to the possibility. The possibility of what? That we might hurt each other. The possibility of what? That we might fall in love. And I'm not even talking about romantically. Okay? Because I even think that friendship, platonic love, is greater than romantic love. Romantic love has a sharpness to it. Romantic love has there's something about it. It's a high in and of itself that is unique and it is quite powerful. But I believe the more sustainable, the more well-rounded, awesome love is in fact a platonic love, a love of, and that is to say friendship. Now you could have a friendship with somebody that you also had a romantic love for initially or have a romantic love for. It's just sometimes that romantic love muddies the friendship part because there's a intrinsic in sexual attraction is a possessiveness. It is a sense of ownership. And to be honest, and I'm not mad at that because some people can handle it better than others and it's all good. And there's an understanding and a willingness to comply with this kind of ownership. But it's just a case by case basis, and we have to be more honest about it, about this relationship stuff. But I think the less volatile, the more stable kind of love is the friendship one. Anyway, I said a lot, dude. I hit this bitch manic. You know what it is? You know why I also hit? I'm so revved up. Around Christmas, Eric had brought this. He's always exposing me like to some kind of elements to coffee. Fucking this creamer, dude. It's this coffee creamer that doesn't have sugar and it's called Primal. And it's this powder. And it's like keto friendly and shit. And I'm not even doing keto, but I just fuck with it because I don't want to put sugar in my coffee. And dude, it makes the coffee taste like fucking ice cream. It's ridiculous. And I just downed a cup. And then I drank my vegetable drink. And I'm turnt. I'm fucking turnt right now. So, where are my glasses? How long I've been talking? Let's see here. Yeah, that's not too shabby. All right. Yo, people, I ended on that because I feel like I ranted enough. I feel like I was manic enough and I burned off all that initial energy. And so now I'm just there. Yo, people, I love y'all. I hope y'all fucking with y'all goals, man. Make life sweet because life is so bitter already. It's already intrinsically tragic. That's another thing generally people disagree on. And I think they disagree on that because they misunderstand what I'm saying. But again, I'm kind of over persuading people to see what I'm saying clearly. I'm not even about persuading people to see my point, to agree with my point, I should say. I just, I think I've grown weary of trying to get people to even just see the actuality of what I'm saying. It's just constant misrepresentation, and that's why I'm just falling in love with writing, because people suck so much. That's another thing, because people just suck, and I think therefore I retreat. It's not even a retreat. Therefore, I attach myself to that which is not personified, the impersonal, the activity, the imagination, creation, and because people are just so disappointing. So I don't need them to be any. I would like to not need them to be anything other than what they are, and that's it's. I want to be. I don't want to worry about that anymore, and so I would like to fall back in love with writing. Uh, and I, you're in love with something when you remember like the first moment that you had in got acquainted. I remember the first time that I like was taken over by the literary spirit. I remember that I had all my lights off in my room. I was sat at my computer and I just wrote like 2 pages of the story, and it was just in this flow state, and it was shit. It was utter shit. It was just action sequences and stuff. It was just, but it was fun, Like it's not. And when I think when I write, it's still shit. That's shit compared to what I think I can do. But I think I'm having fun. I just want to have fun with it, and yeah, yeah. That's and the thing about with a person, you want to have fun with them. You just want to love them. You can't control them, right? You can't control their mood. You can't control their misunderstandings. You can't control the fact that they just aren't compatible with you. And I'm talking about people in general. You can't so one thing that is more wholesome, less combative is fucking the activities of it. I can see how people fall in love with non-personal things, non-human, not personal, non-human things, non-anthropomorphic things, what am I? That which is solely in your head. Because this whole world is in our head. Isn't that fucking crazy? Everything that you're processing right now is in your fucking head. If we feel we share the same reality, and if we happen to share the same reality, it's still due to our minds having us being fortunate enough to have a dual alignment there. Because damn well a lot of people do not share your reality. They might acknowledge that oxygen exists, and that if you to inflict a particular amount of force is causes pain and all that stuff. But the way that we perceive things is oftentimes so dramatically different, and you couldn't get them to see otherwise. I mean, you could, I believe, under certain circumstances, but in all likelihood, in the more general day-to-day, you won't. But in were I to not exist, this world will continue. I believe in objective reality. But just imagine that. But no, seriously. We tend to, I don't know how y'all minds work, but we tend to play mind reader. And a lot of times we're correct. Or you can be right. You might be right about how people see you. You might be right about the intention behind a certain person's actions. You might be right about a lot of things. But my point is that a lot of the stresses, it's all, whether they exist or don't exist. My point is that the entire world is still in your head. History did exist, but whether you know it or not, it's still in your head. To me, I don't know if you get what I'm saying, but it has to do with that first line of that quote I was coming back to. I come to the frightening conclusion that I'm the decisive element. I've come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element. That's really what I'm talking about. How fucking crazy is that you're the decisive element? And how frightening is it to come to that fucking conclusion? It's you. It really is you. Unless you're in a fucking Shawshank 12 Years a Slave situation. But even then, it's weird because you can make... you can do a lot. The mind is fucking powerful. It's easier said than done. Oh, you better believe it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. Despite desires, despite wants, there's all kinds of factors to consider, all kinds of internal obstacle to get through, all kinds of obstructions, no doubt. People talk about mind over matter. I believe also in matter over mind. For better or for worse, your matter gets the best of your shit, no matter how much your mind would like to do this or that. And so you have to do things to stabilize your matter. Adequate sleep, adequate nourishment, adequate physical activity, a fulfilling social relationship. You thought I'd go an episode? You thought I would go a podcast without mentioning the 4 pillars of happiness? I can't do that. 4 pillars, motherfucker. Adequate sleep, adequate nourishment, adequate physical activity, and fulfilling social relationships or healthy conversations, however you want to put it. That stabilizes your matter, I find. And when those things are solid, you can better utilize your mental capabilities to override a lot of bad habits. All right. I love y'all. I truly do. Those of you who listen, those of you who have messaged me, bless your fucking heart. Y'all are great, man. I appreciate y'all. And know that we, to some degree, even if we're not exactly alike, we're kindred spirits somehow, some way. You better believe that shit. Peace out, y'all.